Morning, everybody. 8:32 a.m. Welcome to my channel. I'm definitely feeling under the weather, but still gonna go on with the stream today. Yesterday did pretty much exactly what I thought. Now, news made the market push up towards the end of the day and close flat. Trump put out, "We're not gonna attack Iran." That juiced up the market at the end of the day. But tech was your laggard yesterday with semiconductors. Nvidia had a pretty rough day. Google started off hot. Same with Netflix. Well, Netflix really never gave up the gains. Okay. And pretty much every pre market scenario that I laid out, long and short, played out. All right. Now, yesterday, I talked about myself taking advantage of my scenarios, and boy, I did put a short on yesterday. And I'm just back testing right now with a sim because I don't generally give that much large of a stop when I'm trading. But I'm just trying this out because at the end of the day, I got to take advantage of my scenarios because they're pretty much pretty accurate, right? And sometimes little wiggles when you have small risk can knock you out, but yet you could still be right, right? So yesterday it took a while for one of my shorts. I put it on pretty early and it eventually hit the overnight lows, and it was a good trade. But when I went back, I looked at each scenario that I laid out. Every one would have hit. Pretty crazy. Okay. Now that's not going to happen every week. Okay. So you finally get the pullback in semis, and we still have Nvidia's earnings on Wednesday. Okay. This morning we had Home Depot's earnings, which is a stock that's been getting destroyed. They actually had a surprise to the upside, but it's still down this morning. Okay. Also, Vertiv, I think they missed their EPS. I own that stock. Yeah, last I checked, I think it was down 8% or something like that. Okay. We have pending home sales at 10 a.m. And right now, it just looks like we're in the near term trending lower. Of course, news can shake up anything. The one thing that you never anticipate is I was in service now, and before earnings, I decided to get out of it for a tiny, tiny loss, and now it's up to 108. Basically, thanks to President Trump buying stock. He bought Adobe, ServiceNow. So, pretty interesting that you're having a mini SaaS buying while tech is falling. So, Microsoft, those software stocks that have been getting hammered, all right? One that kills me that I missed was Palo Alto. I think it down almost. I even had an order and I got rid of it for like a 147 or something. That thing is at 247 now. Unbelievable. That's how crazy the stock market is. That's how crazy that stock market is. All right. So you're having a rally in SaaS. Interesting, right? Now I'm not 100% here, so I'm gonna still try to give you guys a good stream. I can feel it. I'm a little slower, but let's just get into it. Welcome to my channel. Name is Steven Gonzalez. Use market profile and volume profile to find structure in the markets. Long supply and demand. Gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. That is how I come up with game plans. Okay, that is my edge. Now, once that market opens up, I use my market internals. Lets me know who's driving the markets. Okay, that's very crucial. Also use gamma exposure. Okay. Now for free, I give you guys every day the gamma flip points. That's the delineation between positive and negative gamma. They act as support and resistance levels. They tell you when a stock or an index is going to go into negative gamma below those points. Okay, I track the weekly and the monthlies. Monthlies are more powerful. When we're in negative gamma, the market is more volatile. So I give those levels away for free on my Discord. Also, the weekly expected move indicator I give for free on my Discord as well. That's for Thinkorswim. I give the expected range for the week based on the options market. Okay, 70% of the time, stocks will close inside those expected ranges. That is a pretty big edge to have. Okay, so once anything hits the upper part, I would probably say I wouldn't go long. Okay, once it hits the bottom part, I would say there's probably not a lot of room down to the downside. Now, if it blows through that level, yes, there's more room. But when it plays around it, I've seen it just play around it and eventually it closes below it or above it. Okay? Throw in some ICT and money in ICT, smart money concepts. But basically, I have my own system, pretty proprietary to myself. Okay? Now, if you want to join me every morning. Subscribe, set that alert. Give you the market news, the economic calendar, leaders and laggards, technical analysis, and I always give you the long and short trade scenarios in the ES and the NASDAQ futures. Okay? If you want more in-depth coverage, you are going to join my Discord. That's Confluence Trading. Go to my YouTube homepage, click on the link, and sign up. What are you waiting for? Let me be your indicator. Okay? So, yesterday, just to reiterate, go to my Discord here. Pretty much nailed this. Okay? This should say, actually, bearish, because that's what I was, bearish. I forgot to, I hit the wrong thing. I wasn't really neutral. I was more bearish. Okay? I mean, here it says bearish, but all that, right? Pretty much each scenario here in the ES. I mean, probably the NASDAQ worked as well. Wow. Pretty much played out. Because if you look at it here, let's just go over here. Just want to show you guys what exactly happened here. So, in the first scenario, right? Manipulation up to sweep the overnight highs. Then break below 74.35s, retest short, target 73.75 equal low. Right? Let's go. Let's check it out. So, this is the overnights. Look what happened here. Open up the session here. That's the price action from yesterday. Look at that. Swept the overnight high. Right? Came down, retested 74.35s, the most traded price of the week, and took out the overnight lows. Right? The other thing was there's supply here, right? So I said short 2, quick push up to 74.63, 74.87 plus supply zone. Rejection, lower high, short target 74.35, hold a runner to 73.75. So if you want it to do the retest, I just showed it to you, right? But if you want it to do a supply zone, which this was in a supply zone right here, okay, that was the short. That's where I shorted. I shorted at 74.45. That's the actual sim I'm doing for my back testing. That's what 74.45, and my stop was like 76s, targeting this low. And that also played out. Okay, even the long even the long, right? Take out overnight highs, quick pullback. Let me show you this now. Not gonna say this happens every day, folks, but this is pretty cool that all my scenarios played out. Um, let me give you that to you in a second here. Hold on a sec, folks. Just gonna show you on a smaller time frame here. All right. So if we go to the 1 minute chart, okay. Actually, let's go to the 5 minute. All right. If we look at a 5 minute, right? Well, keep it here for a sec. Look at the long. Take out the overnight highs. We saw that. Quick pull back to 74.35. Reclaim, retest long, right? You even got that as well. So look, boom, retest it right here. Let's go to the 1 minute. That way you can really see it. Look at that retest. See how you came up and boop. That's a nice day trade. Right here, you retested it, right? I also I was eyeing this as a sneaky long right there. That pull back to the previous day's close. That would have been a nice one. I was so close to taking this trade, but I didn't. All right. Now, long number two. Break below 74.35. Let's go to here, right? So this right here, break below 74.35. Sweep 73.75. That was the equal low, right? Reclaim and put in a higher low. Long, target 74.35. Look what we did. Swept that equal low. And again, what I'm saying is, regardless of news here, right? Look, where did you go? Pretty much up to the most traded price of the week into the close. So this was a demand zone. You swept equal lows into there. So pretty nuts. Even though my trade hit target right here, just kind of uncanny yesterday. Sorry, right here. That's where you came and swept the overnight equal lows, and then Trump had that news, pulled back, went right back up. Pretty crazy. Okay, so now it's so funny, interesting that I do these every day, right? You can see it, and there's a lot of times, and you can, if you really want to check it out, go to my daily receipts and can see how many scenarios usually work out. Okay, you can see it. So I'm trying to take advantage of that. All right, I'm really trying to take advantage of it, and I just wanted to share that. And again, like I said, I'm probably talking slower than I normally do because I don't feel the best, but I just wanted to show and share that with you guys. Okay. Now let me get back to the show here. Okay. Now we can go right into futures watch list here. We got a VIX. Okay. It's up to almost 18. Dollars flat. 30-year bonds are flat. Everything's not much moving. Bitcoin's flat. 10-year yield is flat. Dow is down 0.18. ES down 0.34. That's not flat, right? Gold down 0.38. ES down 0.33. Ethereum down 0.38. Gold, we just talked about. Russell down over 0.5%. Nasdaq's down 0.62. Crude down 0.87. Silver down 1.29. Max Evans here. Google had a nice day yesterday off the open, but close pretty much unchanged from Friday. Okay, it's almost a percent today. Microsoft, like I said, the software company is getting love. So there's pockets of tech that are getting love, right? Netflix up 0.41. Now, who's hurting today? Nvidia down 0.70. Tesla down almost a percent. Caterpillar down a percent. Broadcom down over a percent. AMD down 1.5%. Top sectors here. Salesforce. There it again, right? Software up 1.68. Visa up 0.74. Okay, McDonald's up 0.29. Who's hurting this morning? Chevron down 0.57. GE Vernova down 0.62. Home Depot down 0.78 after earnings. Micron down 1.42%. And Qualcomm is your lag. Well, I just switched. Qualcomm was down 1.4. Micron is your laggard today. Let's just do one more step here. Who's getting love today? Look at ServiceNow. Up 5.4. Look, Team, another software, up 3.43. Snowflake, another software, up 3.21. Intuit, another software stock. Workday, another software stock. Adobe, DocuSign. Get the point, right? Viva. So that's a little pocket. Even though tech is down, that's getting love. Now, who's down today? CoreWeave, Quantum Computing, IonQ down 3.27. Western Digital, Iris Energy, Rocket Labs, Make My Trip, I believe that is called, Wayfair, ASTS, and D-Wave. Okay, pretty interesting, right? Moving on, two sectors. Energy is your leader, even though crude is down. They could be disconnected. Okay, that's the really only leader, followed by utilities. Now, let's see who's hurting here. Industrials down 0.3 at your Caterpillar and GE Vernova. Okay, discretionary at your Amazon, your Tesla, your Home Depot down 0.5%. Technology at your Microsoft, your Apple, your Nvidia down 0.73. Semis is your laggard. Now, what's going to happen with Nvidia's earnings? Nobody knows, right? Could it be a sell the news? I mean, they always beat. So we'll have to see. We just have to see. Remember, semis have been on a total big run. Okay. Let's go to the economic calendar now. Alrighty. Let's see. ADP employment change. Fed Waller speaking at 9. Pending home sales at 10 a.m., so be careful. API crude and some Fed speak after the close. Let's look at Trump's schedule today. Let's see. Press briefing. Interesting. So 1 o'clock. Oh, press briefing by JD Vance. 1 o'clock. So let's see. He always is good for a comment. Let's see the juice here. Nothing really. This was the news from yesterday here. Let's go right here. Trump prepared to attack Iran on a moment's notice, but then he said no attack. That was, see, right there. No attack on Iran tomorrow. That pumped the markets up towards the end. Okay. Let's look at some more news here. So, NVIDIA's outlook will be a test of its strategy to maintain AI dominance. NVIDIA is expected to deliver another blockbuster earnings report on Wednesday, but its shift is how artificial intelligence is used, raising doubts on how long its dominance in AI chips can last. Home Depot beat quarterly sales estimates on steady demand. Google, Blackstone to launch AI cloud venture to meet data center demand. Meta lays out plans for May 20th restructuring internal document. It looks like it's going to cut 10% of its workforce globally. Okay. Let's see what else is going on here. All right, so it looks like Micron HSBC raises target price to 1100 from 750, even though they're down this morning. Okay. Now we can let's look at some stocks here, some breadth charts. So let's start with the 20-day moving average here. All right, so yesterday, interestingly enough, the market, right, went up almost 44%. Now, why is oh, you know what? I forgot to show you guys internals. I'll show you that. Let me show you internals first. No, no, I'll show you after. I'll show you after. See, my brain's not working 100% here. So, so breadth improved on the 20, improved on the 50, but we went back to 51%. Why was that? Well, a lot of the market went up yesterday, but tech went down. So that is the reason. Okay. Now we're going to look at the bullish percent index. Percentage of stocks on buy signals. That got weaker. 47%. Okay. Let's look at the NDX. That got weaker. 48% on buy signals. So the NDX starting to get money flows out of it. Okay. Let's look at technology. Went down to 52%. Notice that was frothy up here in the 80s. Has since taken a back seat. Okay. Now, this financials and communications had a nice day yesterday. So let's just look at financials. See, I moved up a little bit, 60% on buy signals. Let's look at communications, which has not been doing the best. I kind of stayed flat. Even though, now remember, these bullish percent indexes don't take in effect market cap weight. Okay. I think that's enough. All right. Let's go to the internals. Really showing what's going on under the hood here. All right. Notice. Remember, this is from the open. Remember I said breadth improved. Technology was down 1.83% from the open. That was the bearish drag. Look at financials up 1.42, communications up 0.79. Right? Consumer discretionary barely down. Industrials down almost 0.5%, but then healthcare was up. Staples was up. Energy was up 2.40%. Okay? That's a mixed match, right? Because look at here. These bars represent these weights. And it was up positive to negative for the rest of the session. Look at the equal weight line. Above zero the whole day. So there was a divergence. Okay? Represented right here. If you don't need to look at this, this tells you everything you need to know. Market cap weight was weak. Not extremely weak, but weak because of tech. And the equal weight was going up. Okay? Let's look at daily charts now. All right, so what did we do yesterday? We hit the 90 EMA daily, and I said it when I was live. So yesterday when I was live, I said generally when you hit that 90 EMA daily the first time, you could go through it, but then you usually get a bounce, right? Where there's that bounce. Okay, there's last week's close. So you only closed, and that's Friday's close. So you only closed slightly lower, pretty much unchanged. Even though it looked like, oh boy, right? Where are we now? 736.30. You're at the lower portion of yesterday's range. Okay? Look at futures. Remember those daily demands? Well, I'm sorry. I didn't put the daily demand in the ES, but the Nasdaq, right? So there's our daily supply. Remember I said that's going to be a tough time. We didn't even reach it. Okay? Did hit the 90 MA daily. Now, it looks possibly like we're setting up to become in a balance area here. Okay? Look, we're inside yesterday's session. Okay, let's look at the cues. There's that daily demand zone. Look what happened. Came right in it and got bought up, right? Remember I said be very careful here. Well, there you go. Okay, closed below Friday's close. Okay, where are we now? 701.40s. So you can see tech is relatively weaker here. It's at the lower third. Okay, let's look at futures. So here's daily supply, and look at that candle. Almost hit it yesterday. Here's your daily demand. We're in it now. So generally daily demand zones take a while to break them. Okay. It's just gotta have it on your chart. It lets me know that don't get too excited about a short. Okay. You can have an intraday short, don't get me wrong. I had a successful short. But just to fall out of bed, you gotta break that. Okay. Moving on here. Let's go to hourlies. And in the hourly chart, pretty simple what's going on here. So, here's your downtrend. Okay. Now, yesterday, the downtrend line, I positioned it differently, but I'm going to give you the same trend line that I saw yesterday that I put on the chart. So, this was the trend line from yesterday. Right? And look what happened. It was honored, right? These trend lines are elastic, okay? So I just repositioned it, but that was pretty powerful there. Okay? You can see when we came up right there, that became a swing high. And then this candle gave you a premium to short it. My short was right there. Okay? Then it took its time. Remember I said it was not going to be easy to go down there. It took its time. And then what did it do? Tap these equal lows. Well, the equal low is still really there. So that market is going to probably test that again. We have another equal low here. And basically, we're in a short-term downtrend, right? Swing high, swing high, swing high, swing high. All right, and basically, you have like that descending triangle pattern, right? Where you're filling up this triangle, compressing, and then boom. Usually that's a bearish indication, right? It's kind of basics. So you can see it's following the trend, okay? So again, what do we have here? A very crowded price action. So again, I don't see a lot of poor structure here. There is right here. Let's put this on the chart. A little bearish for value gap. I mean, I don't even know if I want to put it on there, but I'll put it on there just for now because it's there. It's getting resistance right now, but that's almost taken care of. All right. So What are we going to do today? Now, what do you have tomorrow, right? We have Nvidia and FOMC minutes. I don't think this market's going to do much drastic in wait to Nvidia's earnings. Okay? I just don't see it that people are going to want to put too much risk out there. So again, another day where I'm like, all right, like, what are we going to do here? It looks like we want lower. Maybe we test this last week's lows eventually. That could happen even before Nvidia, and then we could bounce back up into this range. Okay? Pretty basics. Remember, the NASDAQ. Oh, let me state this fact real quick. We are playing around with the month-to-date anchor VWAP. Notice this green band here. That's your month-to-date anchored VWAP, 73.84. So, what is that telling me? That this market is waiting for Nvidia's earnings. We were all the way up here. We came all the way and tested that month-to-date anchor VWAP. And that shows you the average buyer. So, above it stays green. Below it, it gets red. Just keep that in mind. So, it's flattening out, right? Which tells you that we're pretty much in balance for May. Okay, I just wanted to point that out. Let's go to the NASDAQ, right? What are we playing with? Month-to-date anchored VWAP. Right here. We have a trend line that was honored yesterday. Price came right up, right? And what I saw to help my trade yesterday was that rejection of the 293s. Once it rejected that, I was like, okay, that's a nice short with supply rejection of this. I'm going to short 74.45s in the ES. Okay. Look where we came down. We're having an equal low here again around the 28838s, begging to get broken. Okay, now you do have some poor structure here that's been taken care of once. Maybe we move our way down to here. I don't know. This last week's lows, 28741s. Again, you're in a downtrend, a short-term downtrend, right? We just keep making swing lows. Swing high, right? Now there's another downtrend line right there if you would want to draw that. So really, what I would say is the easier trades are probably any kind of movement up to short. Okay, if you get a short-term break of this, you probably get a short-term buy. Okay, but right now, people are shorting the pops. Okay, remember, we have a daily demand zone. So this supply, and you can notice I have broken up demand here, but this basically whole area is daily demand. Okay, not going to be easy. So if I zoom out, this is that area of the daily demand. Okay, maybe this is even two. I can't remember. This area. Not going to be the easiest because there's not too much poor structure left. So we'll have to see. Okay. That's your NASDAQ. Now we can move on. I know I'm running later today. And I feel like I'm slow. Let's move on to market profile, volume profile. Lay it out very nicely. We can get some scenarios going here. So this is your market profile and your volume profile. Okay. Now, beautiful levels here. Okay. So let's get into the ES long and short trade scenarios here. First thing I'm going to do, break out the overnight session. Look at that price action. Okay. Now, what stands out to me right away is we have key support at the 73.75 area. That level and this overnight low 73.84s are begging to get broken. How far they go past that, I don't know. I would say that's going to get taken out, and then probably 73.75s. Do we fall farther? I don't know. Okay. But it's just seeming like the market wants to go lower. Another level, 74.53 to 54s. This could be a start of a new balance area until Nvidia. Okay. Again, a lot of overhead supply. I think, and I pretty much think the harder move is up. I think we're pointing lower. Okay. Let's get into the scenarios now. Okay. So remember, I'm leaning short. I'm going to start with shorts. Now, we do have some equal highs here. Okay. Right around the 74.09s. The most traded price of yesterday is right there as well. Okay. With right there you have a bearish FEG right here. Okay. So here's what I can see happening here. If we're down here, we're probably going to break this low. That's the month-to-date anchor VWAP right here at the bottom. Okay. And what could happen? You push lower. All right. You take out the 73 75s and the 73 73s. That's that equal low, right? And you want to see how the market reacts here. If the market sweeps it, closes back inside that range, you get a higher low, right? You're going to see the inverse later, but if you get that higher low, you're probably going to push back up into this area, the 74.09s. If you get rejected here, retest the 74.09s, that's a short, and I would target last week's lows at 73.63 and see if you can get a farther runner all the way down to fill that gap at 7300. Okay. Now, if the market does not take care of this overnight low and pushes up, okay, what's the important level? The 74.30 area. Okay. Most traded price of the week. There's supply here. Okay, so one or two things are going to happen. Either you're going to get a quick rejection, retest underneath the 74th, like say 30 area. You short that. Now you target overnight low, yesterday's lows, and see if you could fall any farther. Now, remember, there's a lot of short scenarios I'm talking about here, right? If the market even pushes higher, takes out overnight highs, 74.40s, still in supply. Now, I would probably wait for it to sweep back underneath the 74.30 area. That's your short. And again, target overnight low, yesterday's lows, last week's lows, and really see if this thing can fall apart. The chances of the falling apart are on the lower side probably because of Nvidia's earnings. Okay, but it could happen. Okay, could happen. Now, we're going to talk about the long. You're going to notice a sneaky long right here. Now, just like I said in one of those scenarios, if the market breaks through the overnight lows, breaks through the 73s, yesterday's lows, maybe you hit the 73.63s, last week's lows. If you bounce, you get the higher low, and tech is not that weak off the open, you're going to go long. You're going to target around the 74.06 to 74.10s. Okay, hold a runner. If we retest that, then you target the 74.32s in the overnight highs, 74.40s. Okay? Honestly, I'm trying to think here. It's probably my only long that I like. Be very sneaky in the beginning. Remember, there's a lot of demand here, and this is not an easy short down here. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about the NASDAQ. Woof, look at that profile. My lord. My lord. We're going to talk about the NASDAQ. Look at that low. My God. All right, let's get into long and short trade scenarios in the NASDAQ. That is pretty gruesome. That's a poor, very poor low. Okay. Notice the profile. That's not normal. That needs to be corrected. That does not have any tail. So we're going to break out this session. Look at those lows. That has no excess. That, my friends, is going to get broken. And now what does that line up with? Yesterday's lows. Yesterday's lows was 28814s. Overnight lows is 28832s. That, my friends, is what I call a confluence low with yesterday's lows and these overnight lows that are very poor. There's no tail here, and there will be. This is just a matter of time. Okay? What's another important level? Last week's lows, 28741s. And there's a demand here. I think a sneaky long is setting up here. Remember, I think easier trades are to the downside. But there's a sneaky long there. Okay? So, let's get into it. I don't know if I put that graphic up. Like I said, my head's not entirely firing in all cylinders right now. Okay. So, the levels we know about are the confluence low, this 288s, right? 28814s, to the 32s. This area is going to get broken. Okay? Now, it hasn't done it in the regular trading hours, but we have ultimate balance in the 293s. As long as the market stays below the ultimate balance in the 24 hours, it's bearish. Remember, it attempted to go over it yesterday. It failed. Okay? You stay under that level, you have to be bearish. Okay? So let's go over scenarios. Now, on this one, I think I'm going to start with the long just because I like the sneaky long here if it's there. Because this level is a huge draw on liquidity. It's basically begging to get broken. So what I'm going to look for as far as a long, take out the overnight lows and yesterday's lows into this demand. Hit last week's lows, 28741s. Okay? Look for some type of V bottom here with a higher low. Okay? If I see internally tech is getting money flows, I am going to be more confident to take a long. Okay? Now, first target would probably be around this little swing high here at 28951s. Okay? That might be all you get. Okay? The next level would be yesterday's close, 29080s, and then overnight highs, 21990s, 29190s. Okay? That is the only long I'm probably interested off the pre-market. All right, because remember, we are in pull out from a daily chart, right? Real quickly, let's do that. Is this the daily chart? Yes. Okay, so if we're going to take this daily chart, all right, let's move it down. This is your daily demand zone. We're in it right here. That area is going to be tough. All right, that's why I'm talking about it. Okay, so go back. That's why I'm thinking that sneaky long is probably a play with Nvidia, right? No one wants to hold that bag. Now, if we go to the shorts, okay, this market, I don't gap, well, we're not gapping, but I don't like to just short at bottom of levels where I think people are going to get out of their trades, okay? So what could happen? Well, you could still get that pulled down into last week's lows and you get the bounce. Well, if you bounce into this bearish FEG, let me give you that bearish FEG level. That is from 28931s to 28972s. Okay? You could get resistance in here, right there. Whoop. Lower high, short. Probably target at this time the low a day, which would be last week's lows. There's a little bit of poor structure left here. You can basically break the 287s, right? Now, below here, you can see the volume drops off a little. Maybe you get it down to try to test that unfilled gap. I don't think that probably happens. Okay? Now, what if we drive up a little more, right? Which I can definitely see. Drive, push up, right? Past the close, right? Into this supply. Now, anywhere in this supply zone, which this supply zone is 29071s to 29190s. Okay? So, I'll just say any resistance in this area, followed by a lower high, I would short targeting low a day, whatever that is. Okay? Then try to target last week's lows, 28741s, and see if you can hold a runner. Now, if we push higher and sweep this overnight high and then really quickly close back inside the overnight range, lower high, you short that as well and target the levels below. Okay, yesterday's lows, right? Last week's lows, and see if you can get a nice move lower. Okay? Remember, as long as we stay below the 293s, you have to be more bearish. Okay? Now, I'm going to end it with my overall market outlook here. This market is weird. Remember I showed you the breadth actually improved because tech's getting money outflows, but other sectors got money inflows. Okay? However, the harder move right now is up. And I don't think the market's going to make it easy initially to go because of the way the crowded price action is. Okay? Easier move is the downside. Nvidia earnings are tomorrow. I don't think we make a big, huge outsized move before that. Okay? Now, Nasdaq's just broke that overnight low right now. It put a tail in right now as we're speaking. Okay? So, like I said, that was gonna happen. That was pretty much guaranteed. Okay? Now, the Nasdaq, remember, we're in daily demand zone. Okay? Now, probability is you don't cut through that like a hot knife through butter. But if you do, that's market generated information. If you do, that's market generated information. That means sellers are very strong. Okay? So, knowing the move down lower might not be the easiest ride. You might get a pop. You might get that sneaky long come in. And then the short might happen later. Okay? So we just swept those overnight lows. All right? So remember, the better move is to the downside. Remember, tech is getting money outflows, but money's going into software. As long as though tech, the overall sector, is getting money outflows, Nasdaq is probably going to be relatively weaker. Okay, so that's it for me, folks. Smash the like button if you enjoyed that analysis. Okay, that would help out my channel. Okay, hopefully you join me every morning. Subscribe, set that alert. Give you the market story, the economic calendar, leaders and laggards, technical analysis, and I just gave you the long and short trade scenarios in the Nasdaq and ES futures. Okay. If you want more in-depth coverage, you're going to join my Discord. That's Confluence Trading. Go to my YouTube homepage, click on the link, and sign up. What are you waiting for? Let me be your indicator. All right, we have our plans. I like it. Okay, I like it a lot. If you have your own plan, remember to follow it. Remember, no trade to trade. And if I don't see you in my Discord, I should go live around 9:45. I think I should. I'd gladly welcome you there. All right. If not,